So I hope Bark Lord and I can continue our discussion on science. I don't know if I've missed some things of him. This is a bit of a side note, I guess, but I'm subscribed to a lot of things, and I'm subscribed to a lot of the university channels, and they just started putting out tons of stuff, and it's great. But that'll be 10 or 15, and this is exactly why I like a different kind of subscription model, which I had implemented in my note-taking site, but that's based on Google App Engine, so I'm not really developing that. I'm going to transfer some of that stuff eventually. But probably don't remember, but I want to see a list of the people I'm subscribed to and their latest videos. If they do 100 videos in a day, that's fine. They still take one line or whatever. And so I want to see all the video. I might not watch all of it for I don't want to watch all of the Stanford videos they're putting up, or Berkeley. They're putting up just coursework that may or may not be of interest to me, but I can't bear to stop subscribing. I love that. Some of these are that's how I saw the Joel Salatin thing about the Polyface Farm, for example. I've been watching a lot of stuff, and there's this quantum computing center has been posting hours and hours worth of stuff, so I could be missing stuff. Whereas I would have a different interface for keeping track of people in conversations and stuff, and subscribing as well. But I do hope that it continues. But here's an example, not on that subject, but something you said. Well, what would you do if the answers are so easy? Well, the problem is sort of complex in the way it's unfolded, but I do think there's simple statements to decompose how this folding and unfolding has worked. And I'll just give you an example. For example, why I think philosophy is the most important thing, and why some of these abstract things we talk about are far more far-reaching because of framing, because their power to affect how someone thinks. Having to think about nature and being able to know what's the real facts and what didn't turn out to be the facts is a good way to figure out new ways to think, right? It's hard to do that in your personal situation because, wait, maybe I'm being fooled. No, maybe I need to do but in nature, it's just like, no, it's really working this way, and you can just wrap your head around it. Okay, so the issue is this. Numbers. Numbers are inventions of man. People just can't get that. They can't get it, even the non-dualists, even that they just don't. 2 + 2 = 4, invention. These are inventions of man. The fact that people can't get that, they can't wrap their head around that, is related to a very much more high-level social issue that we deal with the proprietarians. Their understanding of money and certain other things like property rights themselves, but let's take money. They cannot wrap their head around the fact that money is invented by man. The government didn't go out and find all the dollars and then print their name on it. That it actually issued that. It's an invention. They don't get that. You try to talk about game theory. Life's not a game, man. A game's a name for a small, complete system. Hypothetically complete system that you can use for system analysis. Because real-world systems are inherently complex and open. So you have these little games and closed systems where you can analyze the systematics of things. Okay? And how you create a token like money has a huge difference on how the system that the money's involved with works. And there's no conception that invented what? It's my money, let me keep it. I mean, what do you mean? It has their printed the government name on it. Let them keep it. They miss the whole point. It's not even a difference of opinion to discuss. They just don't get what it is. Because they can say, oh yeah, it's a token, but it's optimized. It's the perfect way it should be. But they take this other tack of not even understanding that there's an option or an invention there of any sort. So yeah, these epistemological hang-ups that I find among liberals, conservatives, postmodernists, modernists, everybody seems like they have real world ramifications. It fucks up your ability to analyze things. You can't look at the situation and analyze it as a system because you've got all of these. You don't know which parts come directly from nature, which parts we've invented, which part of the pattern is what we're trying to explain with the human pattern that we invented to describe it, or the differences. I mean, you don't know the difference between the number 2 and there being 2 apples. And yet you wouldn't define the number 2 as the situation when there's 2 apples, You already have to define 2 to count 2 apples because those apples are unique and separate. They don't weigh the same. They might not even be colored the same. So there's no conception of what motivated but arbitrary. You know, there's a reason, but it didn't have to be that way. There's a reason it is that way, but it didn't have to be that way. That means there's rooms to analyze. Well, why did it end up being that way? What was the motivation? Is there alternate motivations? How did the motivation get satisfied, or did it get thwarted? Yeah. Just a little example for you guys not to understand.